Welcome back to a new post today, and today let's speak about the spreading wildfires of the forest in Uttarakhand. So there has been an exercise being taken up by the Indian Air Force called as Bambi Bucket. Now what is exactly Bambi Bucket? And it is carried out by the Indian Air Force, and apart from that, according to the Forest Survey of India report from 2003 up to 2017, there have been about 5 lakh forest fires in India. Apart from that, we have 4 major forest fire prone regions in India. Let's have a quick review about this. So we have the Indian Air Force choppers of N-17 dozing off the fires in an exercise called as the Bambi Bucket, carrying water from the Bhintal Lake and other lakes of Uttarakhand. And this the forest fires have reportedly gutted almost 108 hectares of forest being an important resource in India, not only from the point of view of forest resources but also from the view of being them being the lungs of the nation and also carbon sequesters. When these forests are burned, they release a lot of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, contributing to the warming factor of the atmosphere. So the state of Uttarakhand has been reeling around forest fires, and there have been about 26 incidents of forest fires in the state of the Kumaon region, along with the Garhwal region, and the Indian Armed Forces have now got into action for dozing off these fires. So the alarming incidents have affected almost 689 hectares of forest area, costing the state exchequer a whopping of 14 lakh rupees, more than 14 lakh crore rupees. So this has been reported in the Uttarakhand. And what exactly does cause the forest fire? Now India has a wide area under forests. So forest fires are nothing but uncontrolled fires which occur in the nature by accidental disasters or even human-made disasters, posing a challenge to the forest ecosystems not only in India but also globally. 3 conditions must be fulfilled, which is called as a fire triangle for a forest fire to take place. That is existence of fuel, and which is available in the form of dry leaves, grass, etc., oxygen, which is already available in the forest, and a heat source, which might be the heat because of the warm winds which blow across the dry source of litter or grass or leaves or etc. And apart from that, we have the fires which are caused by shepherds or villagers which happen to smoke a bidi or a cigarette and then throw it into the wild grass, or maybe even voluntarily lighting a fire with using the dry grass or the litter of the region. So this often causes forest fire, and forest fires are common during especially the summertime months, where the weather is very dry, and the dry vegetation, the wind which blows across this vegetation, when there is an existing fire, it carries forward the fire to the other dry litter, or also the strong winds help to spread the fire and cause a fire in the dry grass because of the heat. So what exactly sparks a fire though? So in 2019, as per the Forest Research Institute under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, 95% of the forest fires in India and also globally are caused by humans. Grazers set the dry grass to fire, encouraging the cultivation of new grass, which is also called as stubble burning. Slash and burn and shifting cultivation also use fire. Unattended campfires, especially burning of waste, lighting of cigarette stubs, as well as intentional lighting of fires with criminal intent, are some of the man-made causes that cause forest fires in India, not only India but globally as well. And natural causes include rubbing of the dry leaves or the bamboo, sparks by the stones or lightning, etc. 3 types of forest fire may be occur. There are the ground fire, the surface fire, and the ground fire. And so why exactly is Uttarakhand so easily targeted to forest fire? That is because of the nature of the vegetation which is found in this region. So 54% of the forest cover in India is exposed to occasional fires. There are 4 forest fire clusters in India, one being the northwestern Himalayas, northeast India, the central Ghats, and also the western and the eastern Ghats as well. Forest fires in the northwest Himalayas are attributed mainly to the preponderance of pine trees and accumulation of the dry leaves during the summer period, and also thick flammable litter. In the summer, there is a large quantity of the pine needles that gathers on the floor, which is susceptible to fire. And recently, Uttarakhand has been planning to use the pine to generate electricity by heat, but that is definitely yesterday's report says that it is not still they do not have the technology or the expertise to gather with regard to generation of electricity with the fires of the pine leaves. So this is something that they are considering, because pine leaves, dry leaves, contribute to the forest fires in Uttarakhand. Now, according to a study which was published in the Science of Total Environment in 2020, it noted that the occurrence of high fire intensity in the low altitude Himalayan region may occur due to the proximity to the villages where burning and use of fire takes place. In addition to the plant species like pine trees, villages make the forest susceptible to anthropogenic activities like forest cover clearance, grazing, and so on. And this study uses remote sensing based models to measure the primary productivity of an area, and also looked at burning indices to demarcate the forest fires burn scars using satellite imagery. So also studies have shown that there is a sharp increase in the average and the maximum air temperature, along with the above conditions, decline in precipitation in this region, and also the change in the land use patterns over a period of time, increasing the episodes of forest fires in most of the Asian countries. Now, of course, the local patterns have been responsible for the forest fires. Until April 25th this year, Uttarakhand's Forest Department registered almost 146 cases of man-made forest fires in the region. Recently, 3 men also have been arrested and sent to jail because of starting of the forest fires, especially in Rudraprayag in Uttarakhand. The sheep herder also was caught while lighting fire to the litter in the forest, and during interrogation, it came to be known that the fire grew because of the setting of fire to the dry grass to enable growth of new grass, especially for the grazing of the sheep. So how can forest fire be tackled, keeping in mind that it is a disaster and also very frequent in India? So besides spreading of awareness, there are certain measures that can actually be undertaken to reduce the incidence of forest fires, and these include removal of the dry biomass through controlled or prescribed burning. Limited and controlled forest burns have been shown to be very useful, especially in promoting the forest health, getting rid of the undergrowth, the dead trees and the litter, fresh healthy plants replacing such areas. Further, one patch of land is burned and cleared of the dry mass by the ground fire. It is very difficult for another fire to occur there. This process is usually done taking about 5.2 meters wide fire lines or fire belts in the forested areas where the people have access to. Other preventive measures include your engaging of temporary fire watchers, desilting of the water sources within the forest, and having fire safety equipment at hand readily available. Increasing the surveillance of the forest using drones also had a very helpful with the recent technology. Lessons when we learn from other parts of India with this, and also it highlighted how recent experiences have highlighted how community participation helped in fighting of forest fires in Kerala, especially the region which is actually far less prone to forest fires but has seen forest fires in the recent time. And the government has also taken other measures. For example, satellite based fire alert system introduced in the Forest Survey of India, which makes it very easy for the staff to find out whether there are fires in the forest, and using this method they can alert the region around and also the people around. The forest staff use measures like beating the fire with green leafy boughs and counter fires as well, and they also carry fire beaters and blowers. So this has really helped. And also there is a map of the forest fire map of India by the Forest Survey of India, which leads to helping to demarcate and also focusing during the summer time period whether there have been occurrences of forest fire, and dosing them off using operations like the Bambi bucket by the Indian Air Force, using the water of the nearby lakes. So these are some of the steps taken, and forest fire definitely is a recurring problem and is a menace to the forest cover in India. Apart from that, it contributes to the global warming by releasing carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. I hope these few points were really helpful to you all, and one topic a day definitely will lead you to 30 important issues that you can learn in a month, and whatever I've been discussing is important from the mains point of view. And many of the topics which I've discussed have also come in the last year's the question paper of the UPSC mains examination, especially of 2023 and 22 as well. So keep learning on a daily basis, and I shall see you in my next post. Until then, it's very happy learning.